Rhea Calder made the mistake at 0800 hours, ship time. She'd been assigned to the Wandering Star, a diplomatic vessel carrying delegates from 17 species to the Outer Rim peace talks. Her job was simple: human liaison and cultural consultant. What that actually meant was standing around looking pleasant while alien dignitaries asked increasingly bizarre questions about Earth customs. "I'm so bored," she'd muttered to herself in the observation deck, staring out at the purple-hazed nebula beyond the viewport. She didn't notice the 3 pairs of luminous eyes watching from the ventilation shaft above. The Quetzari cubs, Sarnik, Velix, and Torna, had been confined to their species' quarters for the entire journey. Their parents, Ambassador Ketmar and Consort Ileana, believed deeply in discipline and decorum. The cubs, meanwhile, believed deeply in chaos. Sarnik's ear tufts twitched with excitement. In his 3 solar cycles of existence, he'd learned exactly 4 things about humans. They were weak, they were soft, they healed impossibly fast, and they were endlessly entertaining. "Did you hear that?" Sarnik whispered in the chittering Quetzari dialect. The human Rhea said she was bored. Velix, the smallest, trembled. "Father said we mustn't bother the delegates." "We're not bothering," Sarnik said, his fangs gleaming in what passed for a Quetzari grin. "We're helping. She needs entertainment." Torna, ever the pragmatist, asked, "What kind of entertainment?" Sarnik's eyes glittered. "The fun kind." 3 hours later, Rhea was reviewing reports in her quarters when her door chimed. The panel slid open before she could respond. Cub Sarnik stood there, his sleek obsidian fur slightly ruffled, his retractable claws clicking against the deck plating. Behind him, Velix and Torna dragged something large wrapped in emergency netting. "Human Rhea," Sarnik announced proudly. "You said you were bored. We have brought you a guest. Now you can play." Rhea blinked. "I'm sorry, what?" With theatrical flair, the cubs yanked away the netting. Lying on her deck, trussed up like a festival roast, was a Vorgath mercenary, 7 feet of scaled muscle, 4 arms, and a face that looked like it had been carved from volcanic rock. The mercenary's yellow eyes blazed with fury. "By the burning moons," Rhea whispered. "We found him sneaking through the cargo bay," Sarnik said, bouncing on his hindquarters. "He had weapons. Many weapons. He said bad words about humans. We thought you might want to." "What is the phrase? Teach him manners?" The Vorgath snarled through his gag, thrashing against the industrial-grade webbing the cubs had somehow acquired. Rhea pressed her fingers to her temples. "Cubs. Sweet. Well-meaning. Absolutely terrifying cubs. This is a Vorgath assassin." "Yes," Velix chirped. "Very dangerous. That is why we made sure he was secure before bringing him to you." "We did good?" Torna asked hopefully. The Vorgath's struggles intensified. One of his massive hands managed to tear through a strand of webbing. "Okay. New plan," Rhea said, her military training kicking in despite the absurdity. "Sarnik, go to the bridge and tell Captain Yorith we have a security breach. Velix, Torna, stay behind me." "But you said you were bored," Sarnik protested. "We thought humans liked fighting. The data files say you have mixed martial arts, and we're creational combat, and," the Vorgath roared, tearing another section of webbing. His lower right arm reached for a concealed blade on his harness. Rhea moved. She was across the room in 3 strides, her boot connecting with the assassin's wrist before the blade cleared its sheath. The weapon clattered away. She followed with an elbow strike to his temple, calculated, precise. The Vorgath's eyes rolled back, and he collapsed. The cubs stared, their bioluminescent spots flaring with excitement. "By the ancient hunters," Sarnik breathed. "Father said humans were fragile prey species." "Father," Rhea said, checking the assassin's pulse, "has clearly never met a human who was properly motivated." She activated her comm. "Bridge, this is Calder. We have a situation." By the time security arrived, Rhea had secured the Vorgath with proper restraints and discovered 3 more hidden weapons on his person. "Captain Yorith, a massive centaurian with 6 eyes and a perpetually exhausted expression, surveyed the scene. "Explain," he rumbled. Sarnik stepped forward. "We were helping." Human Rhea was bored, so we brought her entertainment. "We are very good at finding entertainment." "Entertainment," Yorith repeated flatly. "The cubs potentially stopped an assassination attempt," Rhea interjected. This Vorgath was carrying enough thermal charges to blow a hole through the hull. He was likely targeting the Centaurian delegation. Yorith's eyes narrowed. All 6 of them focused on the unconscious assassin. Then on the 3 cubs, who tried very hard to look innocent. "We will discuss this later," he said. "Security. Take the prisoner to the brig." As the guards hauled the Vorgath away, Sarnik approached Rhea, his head tilted. "Human Rhea, were we bad?" She knelt down, meeting his luminous gaze. "You were reckless. You could have been hurt." That being said, she glanced at the captain, then back to the cubs. "You were also very brave. And yes, you did good." Sarnik's purr was loud enough to vibrate the deck plating. "However," Rhea continued sternly, "next time I say I'm bored, maybe just bring me a puzzle. Or a book. Or literally anything that isn't a 7-foot assassin. Deal?" "Deal." All 3 cubs chimed. As they scampered off, their parents would no doubt hear about this. Rhea allowed herself a smile. Captain Yorith rumbled beside her. "You understand this will be in my report?" "Which part? The part where 3 cubs captured a Vorgath assassin? Or the part where I knocked him out with my elbow?" "Both." He paused. "Your species continues to be unexpected." "Captain," Rhea said, watching the cubs disappear down the corridor, their excited chittering echoing through the ship. "You have no idea." Later that evening, Rhea found a gift outside her quarters, a datapad loaded with Katzari puzzle games and a note in crude standard. "For when you are bored, no more captives, promise." Sarnik. She laughed until her sides hurt, then settled in to try the puzzles. They were impossibly difficult, designed for species with reflexes 3 times faster than humans. She beat level 5 in 20 minutes. Somewhere on the ship, Cub Sarnik's father was revising his assessment of human capabilities. Again.